Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm doing a tutorial today on how to make a bowl cozy. And this is the one we're going to make. Literally, it probably took me about 5 minutes, something like that. Very easy. I know there's a lot of bowl cozy tutorials out there. Hopefully this will make it a little bit simpler and easier for you. I've heard some people say that they don't like making them because it's just too much work. But hopefully for those that are having a problem with it, this will help out. One thing I do want to mention is that it's very, very important that you make these bowl cozies with 100% cotton fabric, and you don't want anything, any sparkles, anything that's not, microwave friendly. It's not safe to do that. So 100% cotton. The thread needs to be 100% cotton, and I use Wrap and Zap. I know you can use other things, but the Wrap and Zap I know is made for the microwave. So because I sell these and I use them myself, I want to make sure that they're safe. When I first started making these, I actually used not on purpose, but by mistake, a polyester cotton blend thread, and I tested it out in the microwave, and it did catch on fire. And it actually set off all my smoke alarms, scared my cats to death. So ever since then, I make sure that I only use 100% cotton. I keep all my cotton threads separate so I'd never confuse it. So that's what we're going to be making. Just another note on cutting your fabric. I use this to cut my fabric. It's 10.5 by 10.5. You can buy it online at Joann's. It's not very expensive, and it makes the process of cutting things so much easier, especially if you're using a uniform, piece of fabric, which I do for the bowl cozies. I usually make a lot more of the mediums, which is this size, than the small or the large. I do have a few small and large made, but they don't sell very well. The most useful size is this one, 10 by 10, which use 10.5 by 10.5. So I would suggest you buy yourself something like this if you want to make your life a little easier. And as far as cutting the Wrap and Zap, I cut it a little bit smaller because it's easier to sew that outside of the bowl cozy if there's not too much batting in it. So I usually use this, but I just adjust it a little bit. And if you cut your batting a little bit smaller than you want it, it stretches, so it's very pliable. Just a few little notes to help the beginner sewer out, and it is an easy project for a beginner sewer. So let's get sewing. So now that you have your fabric and your Wrap and Zap cut out, you've got them put together, you're going to fold it over, right sides together. And I don't measure because I can visualize it. I think you probably can too. We're just going to go about 1 inch from the center and sew down about 2 inches this way. I put my finger in just to make sure there's no wrinkles in there. And then I just sew down. I don't backstitch because when we sew the bowl cozy pieces together, it will tack everything down. You're going to do the other side. Sew down about 2 inches. Doesn't have to be exact. Now that you've got those 2 places sewn, you're going to fold it over, make sure there's no wrinkles. Go down. Got it. And I sew mainly now the medium size which was the one I showed you with the measurements. They sell the best. They're the most flexible. I do have some large ones and some small ones made, but I have enough that I don't have to keep sewing. All right. The next thing you're going to do is trim your pieces that you just sewn, about 1/4 of an inch. Trim all the places where you sewed the darts. Do the other one. All right, we got those all trimmed. Easy breezy. We're going to put our 2 pieces together, right sides together, and I match the darts. I just use my clips, match them together. Like that. There we go. And then I pick where I want my starting point to be. Put another clip in there. And I'm going to start it right here. And I don't necessarily catch the batting with it because I'm going to top stitch when I finish. So I'm just going to start. And you want to leave yourself a good gap, a couple of inches, to pull the bowl cozy inside out because it gets kind of tight. I do trim the little points here because it makes it a little bit easier. And now we're just going to turn our bowl cozy inside out. After you have your bowl cozy turned inside out, you can take whatever you use to poke out those little corners, and you're going to poke your corners out. Poke all your corners out. All right, we've got our corners poked out. Now I'm going to just straighten this part up where I left the opening, get it to look nice, and then all I'm going to do here is I'm going to top stitch this closed and then top stitch all around. And I use a 2.5 for this part for sure, so it holds down tight. And then as I go through it, I'll change it to 3.5 to top stitch. It just looks nicer. All right, so I'm going to do that now. Back stitch when you start your top stitch, just to make sure you've got it tacked down. Make sure you got that all closed up together. And then I'm going to increase my length to 3.5, and I'm simply going to top stitch all the way around. to finish the top stitch and meet up with where I started at 3.5. Back stitch. All right, now that you have that done, one little step that I do the last is I will take my bowl cozy, pop it out, and I am going to sew a little box right here, and I start approximately where the dart starts, approximately, oh, I don't know, a ½ inch, maybe an inch down into here, and I just follow the line. I don't mark it. It comes out fine. If it's a little bit off, it doesn't seem to make a difference. So I'm going to find my dart and make my starting point about right there. And I do it at 3.5. And I stretch out my material a little bit, back stitch. You don't have to do this part, but I find it holds the bowl cozy a little bit firmer. Makes a nice presentation. Just stretch out the material as you go, and then meet up where you started. Back stitch. And then trim your threads, and then you're done.